Well, I'm back. It was a nice 2 days off. Lovely Christmas spent with family. Traveled out of town, saw some other family. So I hope all my viewers out there had a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoyed your time as I did with mine. And I noticed my Twitter feed kept blowing up with stuff about Tulsi Gabbard, a recent bill that she's gotten, I think, attached to the NDAA or something. I haven't read up on it much. My Twitter feed's been getting blown away. I'll have to read up on it a little bit. But when I said that I was taking 2 days off, I took 2 days completely off. I didn't follow politics. I wasn't constantly going through Twitter, trying to find my next topic, stay on top of who was doing. Only thing that I saw that I took the time to watch Christmas Eve, Christmas Day was Tulsi and her husband singing Christmas carols. Because it was holiday related, something nice. I said, that's okay. I'll watch that. But as far as anything else was concerned, I tuned it all out. Sometimes you can't let the negativity that you're going to see out there in the world around you and all the politics all day long be your life 24/7. And so I took that time to spend with, family and friends and just take a step back and enjoy things. And that's why I wanted to make the video that I made going into that. Something to go kind of on that positive note to go into the holidays. Not just be focusing on all the negative stuff. But Christmas has come. Christmas is gone. And now we move on. Now, I will go ahead and let you all know that I will have, as long as everything holds up according to schedule, I will have a special guest coming on for a New Year's Eve program next Tuesday. Okay, so definitely, keep on the lookout for that. I think that's going to be one, hell of a video. I think we're going to have some really great content to go over. And I'm really looking forward to that interview. Okay. I made that Twitter poll simply because I've been seeing, even from people people that I like on YouTube, like Kyle Kalinske and Secular Talk, for example, I'm starting to see more and more of this idea of, since impeachment hasn't really gone that great for the Democrats so far, and polling, I've seen polling going both ways. Apparently some people are saying that the polling's actually gone up since she hasn't sent it over to the Senate, but literally we had CNN scrambling because polling on support went down by the end of this whole inquiry deal when they were getting ready to vote and whatnot. So we're getting mixed signals here. Honestly, I find it personally, I'm very skeptical of polls. I feel like it's, almost like a rigged carnival game to some extent, okay? The same way CNN said that they can't believe it, that the support went down, I have a hard time believing it went up, went down, and now it's back up again. In what, less than a month? How? It went up. You started the inquiry. By the time we started wrapping the inquiry up, support goes down, and now in less than 3 weeks' time from that, it's back up again. Something there smells a little rotten to me. It makes sense how support could go down over a longer period of time that we took to go through the whole inquiry business, where facts came out, or the lack of facts were exposed in many cases. But to now just reverse gears and completely go back up, something there doesn't sound right. Sounds to me like when the polling went down, they said, "Ooh, well, time to fix some polls again." That's what it sounds like to me. I have no proof of that. It's just a hunch that I have. But nonetheless, people seem to get the strategy now. Oh, well, seems to be that it's working in our favor to not send these articles of impeachment over to the Senate. and that keeps a black eye on Donald Trump. People know that if it goes to the Senate, it's going to just fail miserably because obviously Mitch McConnell has made it very clear, yeah, this is going to go absolutely nowhere. He's not bending over backwards to conform to Nancy Pelosi's whims, okay? And so she's like, well, I'm not going to send it to you. And so a lot of people are looking at that and saying, yeah, do that. That comes with the best political gain for us. Do that, Nancy. It may come with political gain. And you can agree with me or disagree with me on this. People have disagreed with me, but I believe impeachment is very similar to a trial. The Congress charged Donald Trump. Now it's up to the Senate to try Donald Trump. Now, in our judicial system, okay, how many times has there been where someone was charged, didn't even get much proper investigation or due process on the, fact-finding mission to charge them? There was not a lot of fairness given there. We can debate that. We've already debated that in many other videos. But that's problem number one. And then problem number two, you charge them, but then refuse to take it to court. Well, we've got a couple problems here. We've got different people who are experts on the Constitution who seem to have conflicting narratives here. And here is the irony of the whole thing. See, the Democrats brought someone in during the impeachment inquiry, their constitutional expert, and the Trump team are coming out and using exactly what the person the Democrats brought in has come out and said. And what he has basically said is that if Nancy Pelosi does not send these articles of impeachment over to the Senate for the trial, then Donald Trump was never officially impeached. Because you didn't take it to trial. You didn't send it over to the Senate. You didn't pass those articles of impeachment along. So therefore, actually, you went through all this and you passed something that's not actually going to be legally binding because you didn't follow proper protocol on the rest of the impeachment. Therefore, he was never actually impeached. But then the guy that the Republicans brought in for this whole thing, he's come out and said, well, yeah, Trump is impeached. Technically, impeached only means that the House voted for the impeachment, which they have. He is impeached. And from what I've gathered, that does seem to be the one that holds the most water because it seems like there is a massive hole in the fine print of the Constitution when it comes to impeachment. It seems that there's really no clear language that dictates how the process is supposed to work after the House votes for impeachment. Now, reading through the Declaration of Independence, reading through history, and reading through the Constitution, here's what I can gather from that little bit of information and knowledge. Okay? What I can gather from that is that the Founding Fathers didn't want something like this to be used as a political game. Same thing the Democrats were saying for Bill Clinton back in the 90s, by the way. Okay? That means if you went down the road of impeachment the Founding Fathers had in mind, it is mandatory that it should go over to the Senate for the trial for the removal of office. That's just proper. That you shouldn't do what they've done. That's what censuring someone is for. You want to just condemn them. But you vote to impeach them, you send it to the Senate, and you let them vote. Okay? But by not doing that, you're sending a clear message that we know we couldn't get him removed from office, but we just went ahead and did this anyways just because our base doesn't like Donald Trump and we kind of don't like Donald Trump, even though we'd probably rather have him than some of those people, like Tulsi or, Bernie or any of those people. We'd rather cut our noses off and spite our own face, and we would keep him as opposed to one of those people. And for any possible more conservative viewer that I have out there that disagrees with me vehemently on the fact that the Democrats would rather keep Donald Trump, one problem. And if you disagree with me, then answer me this. Why did they vote to keep the Patriot Act giving him that power? Why did they give him a bigger military budget than he just asked for? Clearly, because they really don't hate Donald Trump as much as they pretend to. They pretend to for all their base that does hate Donald Trump. And they have to play politics and play up to him, and they're just adding to division in this country. Okay, when actually behind the scenes, they know Donald Trump has not pushed policy many other presidents have pushed, that the status quo loves. Okay, yeah, he's really not that much different in a lot of areas. Okay, now in a lot of ways, like I said, there's a lot of things I do agree that Trump has done, but in many other ways, I think he's put too many polluted people around him. He's put a lot of war hawks in his cabinet. And so, this, again, but back to the impeachment thing. They didn't want this to be just some partisan game. That's clearly what Nancy Pelosi has turned it into. Okay, and then, like I said, you've got the Democrats' legal guy that they brought in during the impeachment inquiry, and he's saying Trump isn't impeached because they're not wanting to send it over to the Senate. You got the guy the Republicans brought in, and he's saying that he has been impeached regardless. This is an absolute nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. But I will say this. If you knew he wouldn't get removed from office over in the Senate, then that's the reason why I included that question on that Twitter poll. Why, Nancy, did you even go down this road of impeachment? Earlier this year, it was, no, this isn't a smart move. And now you're saying because of the whole Ukraine thing. I've broke that story down time after time after time after time after time. There was a double standard on every scenario. With the Ukraine, everything else, foreign money, emoluments. There's so much double standard there. Doesn't matter what you come after Donald Trump on, he's able to counterpunch. Period. That's the problem with trying to impeach this guy right now. But if we're going to come out and we're going to say that we should just be able to impeach, regardless of the consequences, regardless of doing it in a fair manner, again, I say, why did Nancy Pelosi just push for impeachment on Donald Trump now? Why hadn't she been pushing for a long time? Better yet, as many people have brought up, why didn't she want to impeach George Bush? See, that's a very good question. Nancy, why didn't you want to impeach George Bush? Well, she's give her halfway answer to that. But let's just think about this for a moment, shall we? Think about how many presidents have just simply had dirt on their hands within the last 50 years. But we know for a fact if things had been pursued, the odds of actually getting them completely removed from office would have been slim to none. But just how many of them did they try and pursue impeachment on just cause? See, I can only think of two. Clinton and Trump. How about Reagan? Oh, that dear Ronald Reagan, the beloved man of the right wing, Ronald Reagan. Oh, you ever heard of the Contras? Why didn't we pursue impeachment on that? Why didn't we pursue impeachment on Reagan and the whole Contra scandal, huh? Because I knew that as bad as it was, probably wouldn't get removed from office. But, Constitution, you're, doing dirty work behind the government, behind Congress's back. You're selling arms to people we're not supposed to be dealing with. Shame, shame, shame. We need to remove you from office for this. I mean, technically speaking, if you look at what Reagan did there, that was a serious national security issue. Okay? No impeachment. Bush, Cheney, lie us into war, take us into a war we shouldn't be in, causes, the deaths of millions of people. Nope, we won't impeach for that. Cover up torture. Nope, not good enough. But a bunch of double standarded crap. Oh, we will impeach for that. But we know it won't go in the Senate, It won't pass. They've pretty much made it clear that since we did a hacky thing, they're not going to really take it seriously. They're going to be like, yeah, this is double standard crap. The people don't support it. Next. We're done here. Okay? And you don't like that. So instead of going through this process properly, I'm just going to sit on it. I'm really, because I know a lot of people are saying that that's advantageous for Nancy Pelosi. Oh, that Donald Trump will go down in the annals of time with the black eye, that he never got the opportunity to be acquitted by the Senate. It just the impeachment. Okay? If that's the way you want to look at it, you're more than welcome to look at it that way. How do I look at it? You just poured more gasoline on the Donald Trump fire. His base are going to become more and more enraged. And there's going to be a lot of people who probably voted for him last time around that are teetering on the fence this time around that are going to say, oh God, this is such crap. He looks like a victim. They don't seem to be playing ball fair. I'm jumping in again. I'm voting for him again. You're pushing more people back toward the guy you're supposed to be running against. And you think that's beneficial to you? You got a blue wave in 2018. You took the House back. And what have you done with it? You said you could walk and chew gum at the same time. No health care. No, They already took care of the tax reform, but you didn't like it. Did you try and reform it again? Nope. Didn't get any tax bills done. Didn't take care of the health care. What did you do since you took the House back? Because all the Democrats, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And what did they accomplish? Oh, they gave Trump a bigger military budget than he even asked for, and they gave him a renewal of the Patriot Act. Wow. That is some fine job. Now, let's be clear. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not trying to root the Democratic Party on the victory here. I'm an independent. Okay? I'm not rooting on Republicans or Democrats. I'm an independent. But it's the simple fact that these Democrats run on the platform of, oh, we're gonna take the party back. We're gonna take the House back. We're gonna bring change. We're gonna change things. We're gonna do right by the American people again. And they've gotten into office and gave us squat. Not nothing. Literally, we get nothing. We get a pumped up military budget going to the man that they hate, a renewal of the Patriot Act giving basically, more spying power to the man that they hate, and an impeachment inquiry that they knew was going to go nowhere, and they ran with it anyway, and now it looks like a game because they knew it wasn't going to pass the Senate, but they went forward with it anyway, and now they're trying to dictate to the Senate how they have to run a trial, which the Democrats don't control the Senate. This is up to the Republicans, who they completely steamrolled over in the House. So they basically told the Republicans, sit down, shut your mouth. You got no say-so here. But now they want to stand up and tell the Republicans who control the Senate, sit down, shut your mouth. We're going to tell you how to run this thing. And the Republicans say, no, we got the majority here. You sit down, shut your mouth, and we're going to do what we want to do. And they say, well, fine. We won't send the articles to you then. How do you like that? Good God, this sounds like a freaking third grade argument. I'll say it again. Democratic Party. If Trump wins in 2020, you've done one hell of a job at convincing people to vote for that man. Because even if they're not convinced to vote for him, I think with stunts like this, games like this, that a lot of honest people who are not dedicated to the right or to the left are going to look at that and say, this is a bunch of BS. And while I may not be convinced to vote for him, I'm very convinced, depending on who the nominee is now, okay? But if it's one of the people that we see them jumping behind in the Democrat Party, one of those mainstream, corporate politicians, they're going to be very convinced that they don't want to vote for you.